In the immortal words of Nicki Minaj, starships were meant to fly. But that won't stop the denizens of the Warhammer 40k universe from using them to turn their adversaries into giant Technicolor pyrotechnic displays. Tindalos Interactive has done their best to illustrate this point in Battlefleet Gothic Armada, their adaptation of the tabletop wargame. Armada is a real-time strategy game featuring 4 unique factions battling their giant warships over the Gothic sector of space. The campaign centers around the Imperium of Man as it attempts to fend off incursions from the other 3 factions. While the structure is largely a series of multiplayer skirmishes bookended by cutscenes, Tindalos makes it a bit more interesting with a turn-based strategy meta layer, forcing players to choose their battles and, consequently, the resources they gain or lose on the next turn. There's also a branching narrative that progresses whether the story missions are won or lost, which is certainly a structure not often seen in the genre. The campaign does a good job of slowly doling out mechanics, ships, fleets, and mission types, all with a decently produced narrative wrapper. Shakespeare this is not, but it's a good way to prepare for multiplayer without inducing too many eye rolls. And preparation you will need, as there is significant mechanical depth in this game. There are a lot of things to consider when entering an engagement, such as ship facing, weapon types, shield status, range, and sensors to name a few. The biggest mechanical shortcoming is the sheer amount of RNG, or random number generator. A little bit of chance keeps things interesting, but too much can make it feel like the player doesn't have control. Armada definitely errs on the side of more. Each of the factions utilize these factors in different ways. The Chaos Fleet specializes in long-range lance batteries and quick-moving, maneuverable ships. The Orcs are brutal up close but lack speed, turn slowly, and are prone to insubordination. The Eldar are the fastest faction, with powerful shields but have very little armor, relying on more hit-and-run tactics. The Imperial Navy are well-rounded but also possess the Nova Cannon, a powerful but inaccurate long-range weapon. Ships are broken into 5 categories based on size, and each faction has a handful to pick from in each category, giving players a few options when it comes to playstyle. Further customization can be done by outfitting each ship with skills, abilities, and buffs, obtained by leveling them up or by spending renown, the currency earned in each battle. Suffice it to say, there is enough variety here to allow players to tune their fleet to their heart's desire. Multiplayer is where the real meat of the game is, and it operates much the same as the skirmishes in the campaign, with the addition of the other 3 factions. Each ship brought into battle has a point value, and each match has a maximum point allotment, which serves to balance encounters without limiting fleet compositions. There's also a built-in difficulty curve, with easier low point value battles early on and more difficult high point battles when a fleet levels up. Add to that the fact that players can have multiple fleets per faction, and now there's plenty of room for experimentation. Multiplayer progression features unlocks and leveling, which is commonplace in online shooters like Call of Duty or Battlefield, but it's still novel in a strategy game. Successful completion of a mission, as well as the number of enemy ships destroyed or crippled, net the player more renown to spend on new ships and upgrades. Defeat means less renown, and ships that were destroyed being unavailable for the next match or 2. Players can spend renown to repair their ships immediately, but what results is a system that rewards success and penalizes failure without feeling punishing. Players also have the option of evacuating a ship from battle before it's over in order to avoid the destroyed ship penalty. It's a risk-reward scenario that adds another strategic layer of unit preservation. Tindalos Interactive have done more than make a successful adaptation of an already competent tabletop game. They've made a compelling strategy game with no base building and a progression system that feels unique to the genre. The game has 4 distinct factions and is built in a way that encourages experimentation. It's got the legs for competitive play and, as with most Warhammer titles, the promise of new armies being added in the future. If you're a fan of strategy games, Warhammer 40k, or both, there's an easy way to say this. Starships were meant to fly. Battlefleet Gothic Armada is worth a try.
Cool. So maybe I'll get me the Oh, you don't want to go that way, mate! Oh, I got him! Oh, you did? Oh, you don't want to go that way, mate! That's the Nova Cannon! Oh, shit! I will see you, but I would not want to fucking be you. Ah! No!